So good morning guys, I'm back at the temple again today, reasonably early in the morning, 7:30ish. The sun is up and I've greeted the local monks and always welcome here. There's a kind of a little hut here and I'm in here at the moment on the ground. Today's going to be a kind of a special day, I think, because I have some things to talk to you about and some poems to read, a little bit more of the essay, and then a general chat. But also today I want to, as I do this video, I want to dedicate it to one of my partners in life. We took many journeys together, and Kay Ruth Burnett. She was a New Zealand woman. She initially trained as a nurse in New Zealand, and then she went to work in Japan and eventually got to the States and worked in Washington DC in the intensive care unit of the Children's Hospital there. And while she was doing that, she also went to Johns Hopkins University and studied earth science, mainly waves and fluid dynamics, high intensity subjects. She came out, she won many scholarships, and she came out of that debt free, and highly intelligent, very beautiful woman. Back then, of course, women didn't do a lot of things that they're able to do today, so she had to fight for her place in the world. And then she ended up on the art colonies, and the first one was the Blue Mountain Center for the Arts in the Adirondack Mountains and up in New York State. And she was a good friend of Valerie Maynard's, who was my mentor and teacher, and she encouraged me and backed me up when I was doing my Mechanical Man and Modern Minorities, Golden Earth, Future Shock. She was very happy to back me up with that and encourage me to do that, which I eventually did. And later on she became the resident director at the MacDowell Colony in Peterborough in southern New Hampshire. And once again she was highly respected and well regarded and made many high profile friends at the MacDowell Colony. In Blue Mountain Center we met people like Bill McKibben, who is the environmentalist, 360.org, guys like Gregory Maguire, who wrote Bewitched, I think it was, which became a musical, Broadway musical. Yeah, she really was a very special person. At the moment, she has dementia, which, as many of you know, is a really, really terrible thing. And she's in the end stages of dementia, so you don't know people, you don't remember things, your mind goes clearly. She needs special care, and I find it very difficult to see that. And our son has stepped up and he's taken the responsibility of looking after her, which I'm really, really grateful for. So today I'm going to dedicate this day to Kay. And I don't think I could be in a better place, and I think she would absolutely approve of what I'm doing now. So I shall start with a couple of poems. The Divide. Will I meet you over the divide? In my life, can you see I tried to make it better for all of us, left on earth amongst debris and rust. sapping strength from all our bones, leaving us tired and full of groans. Please believe me when I say, surely there's another way for us again to stand up tall, holding hands until we too fall over the divide. The years go by, what is left, thoughts, illusions of what is best, for you, for me, for all the rest. Sharing, caring, that's the test. Is this foolishness just a jest? If so, then I will fail the test over the divide. And another little one for you. There is life after death. There is life after death, even here on earth I know. After the loss of a loved one, father, mother, sister, brother, son, daughter, child, friend, I know. Divorce, failure, expectations gone. Hold on, my friend, there is life after death, even here on earth I know. The turmoil of the past, the uncertain future, these are troubled times, a tortuous path leading to your future. Hold on, my friend, hold on, my friend, there is life after death, even here on earth I know. One more little one here for you. I'm in a lovely place here. You just can't imagine how beautiful it is in here. I'm not surprised that the tour buses aren't coming in here. It's not appropriate really. Just people like me that may come in and enjoy the place. It's a place of learning here, you know, literature and learning. You can't have masses of people trekking around here. And this is a little spot I found. And I'll show it to you later on. So another little poem for you. The life that I have is all that I have, and the life that I have is yours. The love that I have of the life that I have is yours and yours and yours. A sleep I shall have, a rest I shall have, yet death will be but a pause. For the peace of my years and the long green grass will be yours and yours and yours. But always, always remember, you and I will travel a little further beyond the last blue mountain, barred with snow, or across that angry sea. So, here we are, people. And I shall be remembering Kay today in care of our son. She also has 2 grandchildren, and she got to know and meet the first grandchild, which was fantastic. She knew who he was and all the rest of it, and she had 2 grandchildren. And she was came back to New Zealand and was a science teacher for 25 years at a private school, passing on what she knew, you know, as you do. So this essay I put together, 25 odd years ago, and it's becoming more relevant today. I talk to people sometimes, and it appears that many of us are thinking the same way. We all know that when things are not right, I think we know that instinctively, and we're going to have to front up and do something about it. So I'll just read a little bit more of this essay for you. In recent history, the last 300 years, many indigenous people and cultures have been destroyed. North American Indians, the Inca people of South America, Aborigines of Australia and New Zealand, and the tribes of Africa. Oh, what they could have taught us. We killed them, their way of life, their cities and villages, because they looked and spoke and believed differently to what we did, that is, Europeans. North American Indians cherished the earth Incas had a system of civilization when Europeans were living in caves. Australian Aborigines survived for 50,000 years in the harshest climate on Earth. In Africa, from Egypt in the north to Pygmy people in the south, all people and ways we should have learnt from and respected, but we prefer to call our way progress. Yes, indeed, some ancient people did hold human sacrifices, ceremonies or rituals and religions that were not right, but our way in the 20th century was far more barbaric. A century of wars, killing tens of millions of people, destroying cities and tens of thousands of people in a single day. The 21st century looks to be no different. Or will nature intervene? In a primitive culture, as a rule, one does not produce what is not needed. The contrast between primitive culture's assumption of a fixed bundle of wants and our cultural assumption of infinite wants is one of the most striking. It contributes to stability in the one and restlessness in the other. Primitive societies have intuitive limits on how much wealth may be accumulated by one person. Rarely does primitive society permit the permanent accumulation of vast quantities of wealth. This is not to suggest that a system called communism is a way forward, but it might suggest that unbridled capitalism may not be the way either. With share market highs and lows, or major corporations milking billions from people's pension funds that proceeds enriching a few. It is well to remember that Homo sapien, regardless of race, language or culture, is a single species. The tendency of man to search for solutions to problems he himself creates is what urges him up the evolutionary tree. We perceive that man has the capacity to exhort new adaptations from his suffering, and if he does not destroy himself too soon, he may eventually come upon a destiny of great beauty. I say may rather than will, because of man's well-known capacity, from bow and arrow to atomic nucleus, to use his discoveries against himself. This capacity to use his culture against himself may yet overtake man and destroy him, while he works on his ultimate problem, learning to live with himself. Each generation has to learn how to manage with other men. Learning to live with his species is among man's tasks in evolution. Meanwhile, the orientation of man towards survival of himself to the exclusion of other considerations has made society a grim place to live in. And for the most part, society is a place where, though man has survived physically, he has died emotionally, and the powerful impulse to survive is producing new ways of self-destruction. To live today now, in this the 21st century, is becoming more and more difficult, spiritually and emotionally. It is not difficult to find a job focusing on and measuring you as an individual by your ability to produce profit by whatever means. It is rather more difficult to find work that requires love, kindness, simplicity and fun. And if you do find a job in which you can live by values, the pay and prestige are usually low. Today we measure success by how much money we can generate for ourselves, and in our world, the Western world that is, it is only the deliberate creation of needs that permit our society and culture to continue. To fuel our need to consume bigger seems to be the better way, but is it? Bigger only seems to dehumanize even more, and each individual's talents, job security are in danger of becoming obsolete. Therefore, every man and woman starts each day afraid that one morning they may wake up to discover that they too are obsolete and disposable. This fear is so powerful that the fear of being rejected is the most common cause of emotional crisis in the Western world. Imagine the fear of the individual involved in supporting a home and family, of not being able to keep up with technology and change, and finding themselves redundant in 35. Is this the future? Today the young worker enters the occupational system under great pressure, often not where he or she may want to be, but where they can be. Dreams of an interesting, fulfilling career lasting a lifetime can be obliterated at an early age, leaving people spiritually and emotionally unfulfilled, leading to even greater problems within society and families. Many women and men today, like people throughout history, have a desire to work for themselves, create their own dreams, security, wealth and businesses. In the modern world, this is becoming increasingly difficult, and those who fail are numbered in the ever-increasing tens of thousands and are looked down upon by society. Yet one of the most basic rights of democracy is the right to have a go. Not all will succeed, but democracy's biggest success is individuals having the right to have a go. Slowly at first, it seems, but at an ever-increasing pace, the globalization takes place. Big business corporations, huge companies listed on and dependent upon the share market, have come into being. Many of them, the largest of these global corporations, are involved exclusively in the arms industry, others in technology, yet others in food, farming, forestry, fishery, marketing, building, manufacturing. The only goal to maximize profits today by whatever means possible. The men and women running these corporations are paid according to the profit they achieve. So I'll wrap that up for today, and I'll give you a little bit more later on. I'll show you more of where we are. This fabulous little place here. Main temple is over there, and this little place here, sun's coming up. The main temple is over there. Other temples around. So I think it's an appropriate place for me to be today. So having talked about that, when I was about 10 years old, we used to go to Sunday school, of course. That's what you did back then. And we went on a Sunday school picnic at the beach, and the beach sloped down and then it kind of dropped off. And I walked down there and I was with a friend, and I stepped off the edge and dropped into deeper water. Couldn't swim, of course. And I have vivid memories of it. Mine was very clear. I remember going down and my feet touching the sand, kicking up the sand, then I'd float up again and down again and up again. And I remember thinking in my mind, hey, I'll take one last look at the sky. And I guess I was 30, 40 seconds away from not being here. But the guy I was with obviously called out. People come and pulled me out of the water and revived me. I was in hospital for a week. They told me I'd probably, never be an athlete. They got that wrong. And I wrote a little poem about it. So, just to give you the backstory, but I wrote a little poem about that as well. So, on drowning, sky seeking. Picnics, they were always fun, sandy beaches on which to run, walking out amongst the surf, then finally falling off the earth. Water and bubbles all around, sunlight above streaming down, sandy bottom I can walk, That seems strange. I can't talk. Rising up just one more time, this blue sky memory is sublime. So, a few memories can go way back a long time. Oh, not quite used to sitting on the floor, but hey, they don't have a seat in here, so, and I think it's a nice place to be, so I'll put up with it. I'll put up with worse. What motivated me first to come up here was because what was happening in the Middle East. I just felt the urge to go and get away and come back up here and share things with you. And also someone I knew had died and I'd gone to their funeral. We'd lived in the same area of the same suburb. He was 2 or 3 years older than me. But we ended up in the same unit in the army. And we'd been on exercise over on Great Barrier Island. We came back courtesy of the Navy, and I was a bit naughty sometimes. I carried a camera, which was frowned upon, and I took some photographs of him on the ship, on the Navy ship coming back. And when I heard he passed away, I forwarded those photographs to his wife, and she was extremely grateful for that. That particular exercise, the Governor General came over, Bernard Ferguson. At the time, he had been a Chindit in Burma during the war, and I had my camera out. I took photographs of senior NCOs. I think they were pretty happy because they're catching lots of fish, so they didn't say anything. And when Ferguson came out, I took photographs. There was senior officers there, and they are now part of the history of the unit. You know, I forwarded them on to the archivist, and like I say, it was frowned upon, but nobody ever gave me a direct order, so I followed orders, of course, but nobody said you can't do that. So, being a keen photographer, I did it. So the time's ahead. What's going to happen? None of us know what tomorrow may bring, but the signs are out there, you know, and I've seen them before, you know, in my lifetime. Maybe 5 times. And in '86 there was a major recession, you know. I had a really good business going, very profitable. It was really good. '86 came along and a crash, you know, the share market crashed. People had been buying shares and buying gold shares, and ended up the company didn't have any gold, and lots of people lost a lot of money. Interest rates are up to 19% plus, over 20 for certain things, overdrafts and that, and a lot of people went broke, including me. So here I have a thriving business, and economic circumstances change. There's nothing you can do about it. Not a thing, you know. Just got to fold up your tent. I employed maybe 8 people. I was importing from clothing and that from Asia, had a little factory, retail, was doing mail order, wholesale. That was good, but the crash came. And like I said, I've seen more than one of those. So if I was you, I'd maybe put the credit card away and maybe dispense with some of your bad habits if you're down at the casino or doing a bit of online gambling. Keep your money in the bank. They're a little bit busy here today. They've got some jobs on. Got some jobs on over there. Must be preparing for something. And yeah, if you at the moment interest rates like 4.5%. You all have, a lot of people have very big mortgages because of the price of housing. It's gone up. Wages haven't kept pace. When I was young, times 3. You could buy a house. Now it's times 10 or 15. So perhaps you should get your calculator out. Instead of 4.5%, put in 8%, or put in 12%, and see what that tells you about your situation, because that may well be the situation that you are facing. Now, I don't want to be an alarmist, by all means, but like I said, this thing's not going to be over any day soon, and then even if it was, it would take 2 or 3 months for things to get back to normal. So you're talking late this year or early next year, or who knows when, maybe even beyond that. So I suggest you button up and take care of what you have, you know, because like I say, I've seen it many times. It's just, new people haven't, you know, the young people. 2008 was the last one, I think, and you might not have experienced that, so, and I don't want you to experience that either. It's not very nice at all. So yeah, just those few short words there, and I want you to take it easy, and if you have the funds and you can still travel, then by all means travel. It's not going to get any cheaper. Travelling when you're young is a good idea. I'll do another video in a day or two on Vietnam old timers travel guide, so you can get some handy hints to make your journey more enjoyable, and you know, so yeah, I'm glad I managed to get through this day and was able to talk to you, and wish you all well wherever you are in the world. And the birds are starting to tweet, and the sun has come up, and they're busy at the temple. So thanks for listening, guys, and hi to my family back in New Zealand. Thinking of you guys. Catch you later, bye. Once again, let me just show you how beautiful this place is. Up there you have a huge brass bell. Water, of course. I think here might be their main Buddha in the temple. You see there's lots of women in there, you know, the left and right, and a woman, lots of women in there. So clearly important in the culture. And up there with the sun coming up, this lovely temple here. A little bit dark, that's because the light's behind it. And this one, of course, with the bell, is all lit up. And there was a little hut that I was able to spend this morning in and talk to you guys. So I'm grateful for all the support that Kay Ruth Burnett gave me, the encouragement, brought me here today. So thank you.